Welcome to Elite Expert Insider Podcast, where we will inspire, motivate, and educate entrepreneurs, innovators, and growth seekers. Brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, making the best and brightest in the industry #1 best-selling authors. 80% of people say they want to write a book. We're assuming that's the same for you. If so, contact us at www.eliteonlinepublishing.com and make your book a reality. Hi, Melanie Johnson here along with Jen Foster. How are you doing, Jen, today?
Today's a great day.
It is. You just got back from vacation. She looks awesome, all refreshed and everything. Well, welcome to another podcast here at Elite Expert Insider. We're so glad to have you here today. As again, we bring you someone who's going to educate, inspire you, and motivate you to be better, do better, be healthier, smarter, wiser, all those good things. Those are all things I want and Jen wants. So we try and get better and make you better at the same time. First of all, before we get started, we want you to subscribe to this podcast. It's real important you subscribe because we have such great guests on and we don't want you to miss a thing. So make sure that you subscribe and leave us a note. We'd love to hear from you as well. And if you're looking to become a best-selling author, please go to eliteonlinepublishing.com and we'd be happy to help you. You can go and submit right there on our website. All right, today we have J.R. Burgess here. He is a several-time best-selling author. He is in the medical field. One of his books is The Fitness Impact Plan. So he started out and he became the CEO with a partner, Joel Baumgartner, and to get together they made a 27,000 square foot medical center, but they did it to create fitness and help the medical community to make great wellness. But then they realized that doctors were not being successful with their businesses, and they crushed it not only in the fitness industry making people healthier, but also making doctors' businesses more profitable. So we're going to hear about how to get healthy and how to run your business to make it more profitable. Welcome, JR. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Melanie. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with excellent people like you and Jen today. I'm so excited to help your audience help more people.
Great. Thanks, JR. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got into this field of the medical fitness and all of that.
Yeah, going through grad school, I was a D1 athlete and played multiple sports, and my body was really breaking down. I'd had 6 knee surgeries by the time I finished undergrad, and I was a personal trainer while going through grad school. I loved sports, I loved health and wellness, and I found out, like when the show The Biggest Loser came out, that there was an opportunity to combine with healthcare professionals, because as a personal trainer, when a doctor told them on The Biggest Loser show to lose weight or they're at risk of heart attack, stroke, or disease, the patients would get emotional and they'd cry. And it was like they finally recognized their health impact, where I was always focused on the behavioral, the psychology, the nutrition to get, amazing outcomes in personal training. I had my injury. I went to a doctor, Dr. Baumgartner, that was mentioned earlier. He says, JR, I see you training patients, and we can do PRP or stem cells on your knees, because I was ready to give up rugby and baseball because I would play on the weekends. I would be in all sorts of pain, limping all week, and I was ready to give it up. And I wasn't ready to. So I went and saw him, and he says, well, because you exercise and eat well already, I believe you're going to get a good outcome if we do these PRP. Let me look at your blood labs internally to make sure your vitamin D, your testosterone, your thyroid's functioning properly, because when we combine fitness and exercise with proper labs, and then I do these regenerative injection, we can get great outcomes. So 3 months later, I was back to completely playing sports from needing partial knee replacements. And we started talking about, he was family practice sports medicine. He says, JR, if a diabetic patient comes and I give them a drug, I'm just covering it up. If they come and they have degenerative disc disease and I give them an injection and they don't get strengthening, exercising, I'm just covering it up. So he asked me to join him to be a concierge to his patients. And we started getting amazing outcomes with people in chronic pain, reversing diabetes, reversing heart disease. And that's where we realized we had something special. So we went from 1,000 square feet to 2,000 to 27,000 square feet integrated center, where we were getting referrals from all over the world because we were fixing these cases. And we realized we had to start sharing our model with the world. So 5 years ago, we created MedFit and Health Innovators, where we license and franchise our MedFit model, or we do business coaching and consulting, teaching other doctors how to learn these skills in medicine, how to market and sell, set up business systems, hire the teams, all the things that doctors went to school not to do. They went to school to learn medicine. We teach them now how to build successful businesses around the cutting edge medicine that they're learning.
You know, most doctors, it's kind of one of those misses. Most doctors aren't great business people. They're good at medicine, but they're terrible at business. And so you're really taking a whole model for them. What are some of the 3 keys that you teach them when they're starting the business that are important to be successful?
Is knowing the ultimate strategy, is a personal assessment of what are they good at. So meaning if they're not great communicators, if they're not great marketers, if they're not salespeople, who on their team needs to be able to do that? Because if you're in cash-based medicine or you're running in your business and you don't have somebody that can either manage or run a profitable business or market and sell, they're going to really struggle. So Dr. Baumgartner hired me to do all that he didn't want to do, to run his business, to manage people, to market and sell. And that's ultimately why we've been able to grow the same way. So when I look at another practice, I do Colby test, I do self-assessment, I ask them what they like and don't like, and then we realize what is needed. So we know we need marketing and sales. We know we need business systems. We know we need managers. So if they don't like those things, we hire those people that can absolutely do that. And then we've created all our done-for systems that they just need to replicate in a cash-based model.
I love that you implement the systems, because it's all about that, you know, with the franchises and the successful entrepreneurs and successful businesses have those systems in place. And I think that's great that you brought that to those doctors, because a lot of times it is just a small practice. They've got the doctor and the receptionist is usually the wife or someone else or a family member, and they don't have all those systems and skills to implement. So I think
you named it. It's 100%. So meaning that's why most independent small practices don't scale and grow beyond 1 or 2 people, because they're not seeing the whole picture, the whole strategy of what's truly needed to scale and grow. So if your practice is dependent on you to survive, that you just have a good job, or maybe not even a good job, as you get paid the same as what you get at a hospital, but you have to do 4 times more work than if you didn't run your own business. So it's really, really important that they get strategized, get the right people around them. Then scaling and growing is very possible. So meaning a system that is a system means your business can still make money when you're not there, when you're traveling, when you go become a best-selling author, when you do all the work, when you're creating content and marketing, that your practice still operates without you. So a sellable business that produces a consistent and predictable outcome without a star employee is what we ultimately need to make these business entrepreneurial medical professionals understand if they're truly going to have the freedom and impact that they really desire.
That's great advice for any business. Any business needs to have all those same core things. Let's dive into the medical part a little bit. I mean, I have aging parents and aging aunts and uncles and all the aches and pains, and I'm getting aches and pains myself. So tell us a little bit about the philosophy of how you're helping people through this process.
Great question. So our practice model is how to help people avoid surgery to reverse chronic pain or disease without drugs or surgery as the first line treatment. So we do that by restoring the body or restoring health through fitness, nutrition, exercise, all that stuff that is lifestyle behavior. And then we're able to regenerate the body if we are having that root cause stuff. So meaning if somebody's sick and I give them a medication without addressing why they're on the medication, that's cover up medicine. However, if we get them sleeping better, stressing less, moving more, eating better, less chemicals that's going in their body, then we actually can regenerate or heal thyroid dysfunction. So it's a different approach to medicine. But a good example is a patient walked into our practice named Susan. She was on 17 different medications, was on chronic pain, was contemplating suicide because she had been to the surgeons. There was no more joints to replace. She had been to the pain management doctor. They wouldn't give her any more medication. She came in because she saw an ad for medically supervised weight loss. So she was hoping for anything. I said, Susan, I don't know that I'm equipped to help you without you seeing Dr. Baumgartner. Dr. Baumgartner did a full evaluation. He did PRP and stem cells, which is using your body's own blood to regenerate tissue. We got her onto physical therapy, did corrective exercise. I started working with her nutrition and started doing some of those corrective exercise. 3 months later, she was off all but 2 of those medications, out of pain, had lost 50 pounds, and her zest in vitality is tenfold. She's since referred over 50 patients to us and is still here to this day, versus in the traditional medical model, they had no other solution. So we have solutions that are safe, minimally invasive, using your body's own ability to heal, that is truly redefining healthcare. Healthcare is not affordable right now. It's surgery first or drugs, and it's all cover up versus addressing the root cause. So that's one example of where we are taking a completely different approach, but you're seeing the explosion of these individually. So meaning functional medicine, that root cause. Almost every state and practitioner in your area, you could find somebody just like that. You could now go to all your orthopedists and do PRP and stem cells. You can go to any city and find 50 gyms in the world. But when you combine these 3 things together, when there's integrated care where doctors are communicating and coordinating with each other, that's what integrative healthcare truly is when the doctor in the traditional may say, go lose weight or exercise, but don't have the real customized prescription for them. That's a whole different ballgame.
Mhm.
I love that. I was just at the doctor recently, and he thought I had anxiety. And I'm like, I don't think I have anxiety. He says, well, take this pill and go, before you go to bed 2 nights in a row and see if it helps. Oh my gosh, it made me a puddle. And I'm thinking, well, if I do have anxiety, I need to figure out why I have it and what the stress is and get rid of it. And I was like, it was clozapam. And I was like, oh my gosh, that pill was like the devil. Again, just giving some kind of medication to cover it up.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I love this new approach. I think it's so much better because medical doctors, they just know medicine to give you a pill to make it better, not get to the root cause. I think you're right on track. And that term functional medicine, I've been hearing that a lot lately. So people write that down, functional medicine. If you can find someone who does that in your area, if you're having a problem, then I think try that maybe in lieu of or both with medical doctors to get to the root of the problem.
And that's where I'm saying, Melanie, is we're not against traditional medicine. We actually have family practice. We have surgeons, but that shouldn't be the first line treatment. It should be exercise, nutrition. If it's anxiety, are you, sleeping the right way? Do you have undue stress that you're not managing? Are you not communicating through that? Are you bottling up? There's so much that, why are we having anxiety or sleepless nights? That most people, again, you could probably take that medication, and somebody that's not willing to do anything, that's probably very helpful. But those that actually want to get better, so for instance, metformin for diabetes, a patient named Aaron came to our practice. He was diabetic. He's been given metformin. He's been told to exercise and eat right, but every time he started exercise or dieting, he was eating 500 calories. So he would lose 20 pounds. He would do well for a month, and then he'd start starving, and it'd be a vicious cycle he paid for 15 years over and over and over again. And then he came into our practice. We did metabolic testing. We found out he could eat 2,000 calories. So for the first time, he wasn't starving. He was told to walk, but then we got him strength training where it felt more like it was enjoyable for him versus the cardio. He was getting tired. It was hurting his knees and his joints because he was still overweight. So we got strength training that didn't hurt his body, that was transforming. So 3 months later, he's off all of his medications. He's not starving, and he's still here 5 years later because it's a program that was aimed to get him off the medications opposed to just saying, here's how you do it. So even in a traditional family practice, they tell you, go exercise and lose weight. They just don't have the right equipment, the right tools to make it sustainable. Most of the weight loss out there is an unhealthy, unsustainable, quick approach versus we're going to customize and say, Aaron, what is your lifestyle? Do you have a family? Can you prepare one meal? What type of foods do you like? What do you not like? And make it actually sustainable versus just go do maybe pills, bars, or shakes that when you get bored of it, it's just not gonna continue.
Yeah, and how many people do that over and over again, where they say, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight," and so they go on some program and not eat food at all. They're eating, prepared meals or powder meals, and then they lose the 20 pounds, like you said, And then they get sick of it after 3 months and start eating normal, and then they gain it all back, and that's the yo-yo over and over and over again. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people that happens to.
And you know, even when we do it even when we do it the right way, there's ups and downs in a weight loss journey. But the closer we can get to customizing it, knowing how it ties to our health, because the authoritative source matters in healthcare. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be the pharmaceutical industry. It's not going to be in the insurance industry, because all those industries make the money right now. But we still have an obesity, a health crisis, in epidemic. So the only ones that are going to fix it are doctors that are willing to say, hey, here is a solution to the problem. We are addressing. So those that are wanting to get better have those options. Some people may be just happy with their lifestyle and the medication's just fine for them. That's okay. There's always going to be that for population. But for those that want to get healthier, they want to eliminate autoimmune disease, want to get off medications, we need to have affordable solutions for those people.
Yeah. And so, JR, where is your practice located? Where's your facility?
Thank you. Our practice is in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and it's called Rejuve Medical. And I recommend for your listeners not to just come here, especially if you're out of state and everything, but to research and see this is what the healthcare model of the future. It truly is. Like I said, functional medicine, as you mentioned, that's the buzzword. It's exploding. Regenerative medicine is exploding. Fitness has always been there, but the integration of practitioners prescribing these treatments is up and coming, because it truly is the only solution to fixing the healthcare problem from addressing the root cause. It's the only solution. It's just doctors don't know how to make the business work. They're not astute, but they are so frustrated in traditional medicine. They spend more time in their electronic health records than they do counseling the patients. They're fatigued. Burnout and dissatisfaction's at an all-time high in surveys. They're forced to see more patients only to see their reimbursements and their pays continuing to decline. Wow. So it's not good for the practitioners. So the model's kind of like the healthcare industry. In 2008, it imploded. The people at the top weren't going to change it, but it imploded. So a disruption had to occur. Healthcare, CMS and Medicare are going broke. So we've seen the diabetes prevention program. For the first time, they are paying through insurance for wellness, prevention, weight loss, because it's unsustainable. So in 5 to 10 years, if there's not enough doctors that are shifting towards this good consumer-driven model, that we will see an implosion of our overall healthcare system. It's just unsustainable.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, we talked about the business, and you guys did something really unique, which we love because we're in the publishing business, that you wrote books to promote your business. Tell us how, through that process, and how that helped your business and helped others. So
twofold is, in our brick and mortar, before I knew about all this and that I was even capable of being an author, I barely graduated high school. So, spelling and grammar, I was always smart, but I had a traumatic early childhood, and I turned to drugs and alcohol and was an addict, and sports was the only thing that kept me going through high school. So I didn't know that I had the skills, but I learned early on that I was transparent with our consumers, and I email marketed, and I do Facebooks and videos, educating the consumer that, hey, I'm not perfect. I've been beat up. All I want is a better life for those that want a better life. I don't care if you do drugs. I don't care if you do alcohol. I don't care if you're 400 pounds. None of that matters to me. What matters is that if you come to us today that you want to get better, that I help providing you and educating you and motivating you. And I realized, wow, people really gelled with authentic marketing, that written message when I was doing that, not just here's your 5 tips, here's your mental health stuff. When I was telling a true, real story, people were resonating with that. And then I went to a conference and I seen somebody talk about how do you get your message, even if it's just transparent, even if you just blog, to become a generator for you. So I realized that real writing resonated from the best marketing strategy in attracting consumers to our market. But what I realized in our business is I was now having to go all around the world to speak to try to sell our model to doctors. I was having to pay for lunch and learns. Because I'm not a doctor. I'm the business guy, right? I had my master's degree and I was a personal trainer, but I'm not a doctor. So to get on stages of American Academy of Orthopedic Executives, age management medical group, you don't see non-doctors on these stages. So I heard that deal saying, hey, if you're not getting on the stages, if you're not getting the opportunities that you want, writing a book can be the best way to show your authority, your credibility. So I said, okay, I got to do this. I can no longer travel to every conference in the world, pay for every lunch and learn, speak, because doctors, they network in the lunch. And I'm this disrupting guy that's at these conferences, and I'm trying to speak over their lunch when I know they just want to network, and I paid $5,000. So I'm trying to hit my best information, everything that's there. And it's just like, it's not, and it worked. I mean, we grew slowly and everything, but it's painful. It's uncomfortable. I'm an introvert. So it's just like awkward. But as soon as I created that best-selling book onto there, and I started putting that as my abstract with my bio, I started landing these stages. And I was like, man, I wish I'd have just did this from day one versus 3 years of grinding to try to be proven, because I always had to use Dr. Baumgartner's name in Rejuve Medical. And he's like, well, why can't he come speak? Well, and it was always a roadblock. As soon as I had that book, I started getting on those stages, and I haven't paid for a lunch and learn in over 1.5 years now. And now every main affiliation, every main network, I can get on those stages. I am now saying no to deals, but all it took is the book and some of those other previous experiences of me being on those stages, and that multiplies. So look at every medical conference. There's very few non-MDs or practitioners on those stages, but a best-selling book helped me do that. So I realized that, but now I coach other doctors, right? And what doctors don't like to do is doctors do not like to sell. They do not like to message, but doctors love to educate. They love to talk about case studies and their patients who have had success. They love to talk about what they believe in and their story and why they're doing what they're doing. And I said, that's what marketing is. They care why you do what you do. They care about the people you transform in testimonial stories. They want to know why you're unique and different. So I don't want you saying we have $9.99 injections or here's the low and all the thing you think you know about sales. I want you to talk about your story, why you're doing what you're doing, your 5 client testimonials, your 10 should ask questions, your 10 frequently asked questions. And this is your sales guide. And they're like, ding, ding, ding. And so now I put 16 doctors connecting them with publishers just like you who can help make them bestsellers. And that's truly what they resonate. So now we were always good enough because I was marketing, message, and email marketing, but to spread that platform, now Dr. Baumgartner's made it his opt-in. And it's our #1 opt-in because consumers want a medical doctor book instead of just, hey, here's our low barrier offer, or here is just, a packet. A book has more value on that opt-in. So it's our #1 lead generation tactic for all these regenerative functional medicine people, trunicated when done the right way, that progress people very quickly. And they don't have to be 400-page books. They don't have to be backed with all these science. Like I said, your story, your 3 best clients, your 10 should ask questions, your 10 frequently asked questions, and how do we get that nice little literature on your opt-in as your #1 there. But then it has so much more impact beyond that, is showing them as the competitive, expert and authority in their area. It shows them if they're wanting to get on stages or podcasts in interviews and be an influencer and be able to make time or make money for just not their time in the room. So it's that springboard to them realizing their potential, their value. It closes their value gap when they become a best-selling author on what is possible, because they're not business people. To me, this is the easiest way and starting point to let a doctor understand their business capabilities through a non-salesy way, which helps them get their message out there in a non-salesy, an authentic, an influencer, in a legacy way that my doctors are thrilled to death to become #1 best-selling authors of what it can start doing for them. But I know what it does in between the ears for them to really start showing up as entrepreneurs, leaders, coaches, and it's awesome.
Awesome.
I love that story. That is great. And one of the biggest things, you went from, like, people say, how do I get my money back from my book? I'm going to invest to publish. It costs something to get published. And you just said it right there. You were paying $5,000 each time to try and get in front of these people. And now they're asking you, or they're paying you to do it.
Yeah.
So that's a huge income shift right there. That paid
Yep.
for it in just a couple lunch and learns that you didn't have to do.
Great question that you asked that. Shortly after I had it published, I had spoken in another group, and it was American Academy of Regenerative Practices. One of the conference managers was in there hearing all the speakers. She goes to other conferences. She heard me and took my opt-in, which I gave away my book at the end of the presentation. And she called me right after and says, JR, what would it cost for you? And this is, and I even paid for that one. It's right when my first book came out, that other lunch in there that I paid for. She said, what would it cost for you to come teach everything that you taught? So I was the keynote speaker for 4 hours. I got to pitch. I made $100K selling my mastermind programs to that. And I got paid $5,000 to go there and do it versus paying typically each time, just by having that book in my presentation and saying, I do this for a living now. So it completely changed the psychology of the case manager and got me my first big paid gig. Because most of the other ones, I would still get asked to speak, but it was just, okay, they'll cover a room, they'll cover travel, but not paid. But it led to my first big paid speaking gig, which was awesome.
Wow, paid speaking gig, and
Yeah.
you sold $100,000 worth of services while you were there.
And that's just on day one. It's led to other back end things. So that weekend I could probably attribute to overall well over 200+K in business. So meaning they bought in our mastermind, we present other offers that will help them up level and get to other services. That was just the initial purchase of what I was able to sell at that event without selling. And that's the best thing in book is I don't believe in hard selling. I believe in educating, telling inspiring stories, having some sort of offer, but because it was a paid CME talk, I was not able to offer during the presentation, but I've learned how through a book to say, this is what I do, or here's a client that I helped through a testimonial without ever promoting myself at all. That's like an anti what you do at CME conferences and on other people's stages. But when you learn how to tell that message through your book and that you help clients just like who's in that audience, it really becomes easy. And I didn't even know all this, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I didn't know how to market. Like I said, I barely graduated 9 years ago. I was passionate about sports, being a personal training, but one thing led to another, and it's just continuing how taking this first step in a book has evolved me to now my book is more like my presentation, because that structure is I was giving away the farm in my books and my content and on the stages, and too much information overwhelms and stops people. So some people, when they go write a book, as you know, do it the wrong way. It's way too much. It's like you're stopping action. So still there's a difference between writing a book and having it done the right way to where it actually helps you get more sales, helps inspire action, helps give them the right juicy materials. And I know you all are experts in helping people make sure it has a back end purpose for them.
Yes. And
For
never
sure.
write that 400-page book.
Yeah.
Always have 2 books, 200 pages each.
Yes, another 50 to 100 page overview that takes them to the next problem solution. Yes.
And we talked with you, you were talking about, we went over your Amazon author page. You're like, hey, I didn't even know I was supposed to do these other things. So we were glad to help you with some of that.
Yeah, and that's what is cool about this is there's so much. Is I just did a book to solve one problem and it did that. But that's just me from my scope and fast, imperfect implementation access. But there's always a next level. It's like, great, we went and got these books, but these books has helped me got stage speakings, but I'm not generating revenue for per se these book sales yet. I'm not fully leveraging my credibility that's going to help me get more of those high paid speaking gigs and everything. So it served purpose number one, but I'm certainly not leveraging. You guys were easily quickly able to point out, JR, do, and do. And it's like, well, I just haven't got to it. Well, great. Now with your template and your structure and your coaching, I can now, instead of in my mind, pass that to my assistant, because just like our doctors out there, they don't have the time to all do, but you have simple set systems and checklists that either you can do for us, or that, you can have my assistant say, here's what we do, because there's always a next level, and you guys do this for a business. I only use it as a lead generator. You guys are doing it to build and grow my business, and that's just a whole nother level. And it's just like coaching. You can go to an event and seminar and great good information, but when you join a mastermind, you get more done. When inside that mastermind, you can pay for the done for people to actually do it for you. So I tell my doctors, people out there, is you cannot not afford to not pay for speed. We didn't go from 1,000 to 28,000 square feet because we don't not believe in the value of marketing and speed. Is if you are truly wanting to be a category of one, if you want to be high performing, if you want to be successful, you don't have the time to get it wrong, because the cost of not paying somebody simply to become a bestseller, the cost of not paying to get your book done right, the cost of not paying to do is just hurting you. Good services like what you offer and become bestseller pay for themselves 10 times through. And the people that don't pay, they don't make it. So for any listeners out there, you can't cheap your way to success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I wish there was a magic bullet where you can do, but groups just like you have value behind your service. Pay for that. You're going to get it right. So just like we say, you pointed out, great. Send me the invoice. I'm going to pay you to get it done because I don't have the time to do it, and it's costing me by not having it done right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of the same with the medical industry, like you were saying. You can cheat your way through, and you'll still be hurting and in pain, or you can do the work that needs to be done, like the eating good and working out and doing what the doctor says, so that you can feel better.
You nailed it. It's the same in that industry. We can't give a magic pill. You still have to put in the work. It's the same in the medical business. They can struggle through making their practice work, or they can pay a practice management system that has successful practices. They can pay to try to dabble in marketing, or they can pay a social media guy that absolutely knows how to target their target audience. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't do their homework and see who has value out there, because there's a lot of people who aren't good. But if you have gotten into experts that sustain, that have been doing it for a while, they don't sustain if they don't provide value. They don't,
Yeah.
So, and yes, even just like you tell me, you guys could consult me and tell me to do things, and we could pay for that service and I could go do it. But if I don't implement, it doesn't matter what in the world. Or I could pay you to do it for me, and then it gets done. Yes, that paid for you cost a little bit more, but if you don't have it, one or the other, you either still got to do the work or pay somebody else to do the work.
Yeah.
And I choose to pay when I'm not an excellent, or I'm not a master, or there's people that get out of favor. I always pay for speed. And that's, if I could say anything of our number one reason for success, after the fact that we get results, we care. That's like a skill. That's always the foundational success. I tell any entrepreneur, business owner, if you're not good at what you do, I'm sorry, you're going to get found out, and you're not going to scale at one point or another. You may make short cash or quick cash, but you're not going to be in business 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So you got to be good at what you do. But then beyond, it's because I've paid for speed for people that get it better. I don't beat up marketers and say, oh, what do I get for $1,000 a month? It's great. I know what I'm trying to measure and what my outcome is. If they can deliver, I'll gladly pay for that over and over and over again. So pay for speed if it works. You have to.
Great advice. Well, tell everyone where they can find you. What website, or where can they go?
Yeah, so Rejuve Medical, if you're looking about medical information, you, a family member, a loved one, if you're trying to see what healthcare is really about, and we always can help people. People fly all around the world to see us in our integrated care just because we put it all together. But if you're healthy overall and you say, hey, JR, looking in Florida to have, stem cells, who's a good one? We'd be able to have, we have 100 doctors in our network that we know do good things. So we'd be happy to refer you to the right people. The health evaders, where I recommend people go is just to email me, jr@Rejuve Medical. If they're a practice owner or a business professional, is email me, and I'd be able to, have an assessment to determine, are you trying to grow your skills in one of these medicine? Are you trying to have business help? Because there's 4 different businesses that we're able to help people. I don't want to confuse people, but if you're trying to grow your medical practice or have any, questions on that, I definitely, and I don't, again, believe in a sales philosophy. I believe in taking an intake and recommending you to look at something or somebody else. Half the time I tell them to, hey, great, sounds like you have a marketing gap. I want you to go to Jen and Melanie and start your book. That's usually the best first option if a doctor's struggling to grow or get any leads. We need a lead gen. So
thanks so much for coming by, JR. We really appreciate you having you here today. We learned so much. I think everyone was inspired, energized, motivated. I'm ready to go. I think you just taught us a lot about growing your business and your health together. So thanks for coming by today. So we want to remind you to subscribe to our podcast. Make sure you hit the button and subscribe. We are on iTunes, we are on Stitcher Radio, we are on Alexa, and we are on YouTube. You can find us all over the place. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you can have more of these great guests and get more information. And if you're looking to write your book and expand your business, just like JR was talking about, and become a #1 best-selling author, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com and see if you qualify to work with us. And we would love to make your book a bestseller and explode your business. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, JR.
Thank you, everybody.
If you'd like to create the most powerful advertising tool for your business, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com, where we will help you create, publish, and make your book a #1 bestseller and show you how to get new leads and more revenue for your business. If you'd like to check us out on our Facebook page, we have a free book for you as our gift. Just go and click free book. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment for our podcast. We would love to hear from you.